first up, we have Mel. So Melrose7, I think her Instagram is. Melrose Fitness 7 is her Instagram. And she's used to have an issue with food. She loves her fried food, takeaway, chicken burgers especially. And she's found a way, along the way of her training in the gym, to make it work for her. Have foods that she loves, almost try and replicate those fast food style burgers and make them healthy versions or macro-friendly versions, and a little bit of her backstory as well. So we're going to delve into her backstory and see how she sort of made that, how she made it work for her, not necessarily following strict guidelines of what her trainer was talking about, but she evolved her process and how she worked her food to make it fit within her fitness goals. So let's hear from Mel. Make sure you don't come too forward.
Don't walk forward.
Yeah, don't walk
Alrighty. Yeah. Well, it would have been the very first lockdown. I was at home and I was cooking my own food, but I didn't understand calories at this point. So I was using a lot of oil, frying lots of chicken. And at this point, I ended up gaining about 6 kilos. We did do measurements in PT and I gained 5 centimeters around my stomach at this point. And that was the realization where I was like, okay, wait a second, I need to do something about this. I looked in the mirror and I wasn't happy with what I was seeing. So that was when I decided, all right, I'm going to take my calories seriously, and I started cooking all my meals and got a really good understanding of what was high calorie, what was low calorie. One of the best things that I ever got was an air fryer and using spray oil. Spray oil saves you so many calories because you don't actually have to drizzle it all over the pan. You just give it a few quick sprays and you're set. Food tastes good, way less calories, and yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, so I guess you could say there's a lot of things on social media now, like TikTok was probably a bit of an influence. Watch other people creating all these amazing food, and I was like, oh, I can do this too. So I took their influence and just decided to make the foods that I enjoy to eat and make it low calorie. So chicken burgers is probably one of my favorite. I honestly would have a chicken burger like, I don't know, 5 times a week, and that would be me eating that out as well. So you can imagine how many calories would be in all that type of food. So I guess it was getting the low calorie bun from Aldi is number one. It's only 160 calories for that brioche bun. So good. Although it's always sold out these days. So getting that bun really helps. And then, figuring out using the right type of mayo, like the light mayo, light cheese, all that sort of stuff, helping to create a burger that tastes really good, fits into your macros, and then you're able to actually hit your goals still. Yeah. I guess because since it was really helping me and being able to eat the foods that I enjoyed actually really helped me like with my progress. I guess it's really hard to stay consistent if you're eating foods that you don't like. If someone gives me grilled chicken with some broccoli with no flavour on it, I'm not going to last, I'm not going to survive. It might be a few days and I'm back to eating, Macca's and KFC every day again. I did do that at one point. But yeah, now I'm able to, eat pizza, eat burgers, eat, pasta especially. Carbs are not bad. I love the protein pasta because it's actually got really good macros in it. You can have a massive bowl of pasta and it tastes so good and you're super full, good calories. I think I have one on my page for like under 400 calories. Yeah.
You have good food, that's the only way you can live.
Yeah, well, I think food shouldn't be categorized as bad or good. Just because it's a burger or just because it's pizza doesn't mean it's actually going to be unhealthy for you. I mean, if you're going, to Pizza Hut and Macca's and KFC every day, probably not going to be ideal. But if you're at home cooking with ingredients that you know what they are, that's going to help you reach your goals because you're eating delicious food, tastes good, and you don't even feel like you're on, a diet or anything because you're not, really. You're just eating the food you want.